Hi everyone, welcome back to Hand in Hand Together. The sun's coming out at last, happy days. So, anyway, following on from last week's video about self-care and how important it is, this week I want to talk about our self-talk. It has such a huge impact on how we see ourselves in the world around us. You know, our language, our verbal language is a reflection of the thoughts that we've got going on inside our heads. So if you're sad, upset, down, miserable, that's what you're going to put out there in your words. And sometimes it's difficult to stop the thinking, but a good way of kind of getting some control back is by noticing the language. It seems a bit easier to catch your language than it is to catch your thoughts. I know from my own experience that, you know, if I spoke to my mates or my family the same way that I speak to myself at sometimes, I would be a very lonely man, do you know what I mean? Because they'd all be buggering off. Vice versa, if my mates spoke to me like I speak to me sometimes, I would be jogging them off out of my life, do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be comfortable with that negativity, but I'm comfortable with detrimental and critical words towards myself, which seems a bit bizarre really, doesn't it? But it is a mirror image of where your thoughts are. So I've worked with lots and lots of people over the years about language, really becoming aware. If you're using negative language, then you're on autopilot. Your subconscious is directing you, your history is directing your thoughts, which then direct the words that come out, which then create the environment and the people you're around. Yeah. So becoming aware of your language is a really good starting point. Yeah. So I'm not asking, you know, you can't change decades worth of programming just because you start to notice your language for a couple of days. This is an ongoing thing, and it's a huge part of self-care. You know, over the last 6 months when I've been struggling, my critical voice has gone batshit crazy, and it always does. It always sticks to the same stuff. So even with my skills and knowledge and experience, the doors are allowed open every now and then, and it's really important to grasp them as soon as you can. So what I want you guys to do after watching this video, if you're aware or not aware of your language, is to become a little bit more conscious over the next couple of weeks of the words you're using. You know, seek help around you. If you're in a dark place, then help. You know, ask people to point out to you if you're being derogatory towards yourself or hypercritical to yourself. You know, you're not going to change the world, but notice, yeah? And growing that awareness of your language is a conscious act, yeah? And then, you know, from that, once you start noticing, I think a lot of people will be surprised at quite how negative their language can be at times. You know, you could say a hugely positive sentence, and then at the end you put a couple of words on it that just take out all the positivity of that, yeah? Because you're just keeping yourself in this place of feeling down and upset or depressed and anxious, yeah? So your words are creating that, okay? So this is just a short video. I'm not going to bang on today, but what it is about is understanding the power of your words and start to get conscious. Yeah, start to notice them, start to notice your language. Single words can change the impression of a whole situation, a whole sentence. Yeah, so start to notice. And if you're noticing yourself kind of being negative, add on to it. You know, but I am trying my best at the moment. I am getting through it. I am learning every day. Yeah, so you add, you know, the same as if you're saying a positive sentence and you're adding all this negative shit on the end of it, you can do the other, yeah? So if you start to notice the negativity and critical voice and stuff, you can add a couple of words or a little sentence onto the end of it just to try and turn that around, okay? And what eventually you'll see, you'll start to notice your thoughts changing. So the negative self-talk becomes less and less. Yeah. But don't get impatient. It's a long process, and you've got to stick to it, and you've got to be dedicated to creating the world that you want to be in, the version of you that you want to live in. So it's really, really important. Yeah, it's a really nice starting point to start to change some of your thought processes, yeah, and your behaviours. All right, guys, so that's it today. Short and sweet, but try and spend some time noticing your language. All right, yeah, okay, take care. If you've got any questions about it, ask below, because you know there is lots of questions and lots of barriers to it as well. All right, so yeah, speak soon and take care. All right, see you guys.